Just imagine if someone from yesterday were to arrive in the 21st century. What would their condition be like? Seeing our modern technology. Something similar happens to Lucius. Lucius, a Roman architect, hadn't been able to create anything new for a long time, and because of this, he was facing financial difficulties. His ideas seemed boring and outdated. One day, Lucius's friend took him to a public bathhouse, where people often found peace. But Lucius wondered what kind of peace he would find among these naked men. Perplexed, he plunged into the water. Then, he saw a small tornado forming on the other side of the tub. As he approached, the force of the water pulled him towards it. Within moments, he was in a water tunnel, where breathing became extremely difficult. He struggled to reach the ground and finally succeeded, but upon emerging, he was stunned. He wasn't in ancient Rome, but in a modern-day Japanese bathhouse. He'd somehow found his way from ancient Rome to a 21st century Japanese bathhouse. The sight of several old men, naked, left him stunned. He'd never seen such slender men before. Recovering from the shock, he realized the world there was far beyond his own. The sight of baskets, water taps, and massaging devices left him wide-eyed. He even accidentally entered the women's changing room, where a screaming old woman smashed him over the head with an iron can. A manga artist named Mami was also present. Lucius's appearance gave her an idea for a new cartoon, and she began sketching him. After a while, Lucius regained consciousness and was given a bottle of flavored milk. "Hey, how does this taste so good? What did you mix in it?" Sheila insisted. It tasted so delicious that he lost his mind. He fainted and returned to his hometown, Rome. People told him that he had drowned in the tub and had been pulled out just minutes ago. At first, Lucius thought his encounter with the idiots was just a dream. But then he noticed that the empty milk bottle was still lying beside him. 2 months later, Lucius transformed the bathroom into a 21st century one with his new idea. People praised his art and he became rich overnight. Now, people there too began enjoying massage boots and cold, sweet milk. One day, while bathing in the tub, an old man said he wanted to build a personal bathroom. As Lucius was thinking of a way to do it, a powerful water current transported him back to the 21st century. An old man came and asked Lucius to bathe him. Lucius was confused, but he agreed. He saw many new things, like water fountains and a shower hat. Coincidentally, the house belonged to Mamie, who found Lucius again. She ran to get her sketchbook, but before she could return, Lucius was already gone. Arriving in Rome, Lucius made a fortune by building a bathtub in the old man's house. He wanted to give his wife a nice wedding. A few days later, he received a call from the king of Rome. The king had heard a lot about his work, so he ordered Lucius to build him a personal bathroom. The king stipulated that the bathroom must be as unique as the original. The king told him that the bathroom should be so unique that no one in the whole world had seen it. Lucius accepted the challenge and set out to find ideas in the city, but he found nothing. Now he was embarrassed that all his ideas were just cheap copies of 21st century products. Suddenly, his foot fell into a drain, and he disappeared once again. In the 21st century, Mamie had a job at a bathroom supply store. One day, he accidentally left the water running, and the tub filled to the brim. Suddenly, Lucius emerged from the tub and began breathing heavily. After a while, he realized that bubbles were forming in the tub on their own. The store manager went to call the police, and Mamie and Lucius started talking. They didn't know each other's language, but when Lucius gave him a silver coin and asked to show him around the store, Mamie understood the language of money. Lucius had never seen such shiny toilets before. He thought that the toilet paper was printed on paper. Surely the secret of the success of these people with such flatulence must be written, but the thing he liked the most was the jet spray. Using it, every part of his body started throbbing. Brother, this is giving a feeling of heaven on the toilet. Copying all these ideas, he reached Rome and built the most luxurious bathroom of that time for the king. He built a toilet with 24-hour water supply, a tub in which slaves would blow air to create bubbles. He placed a shiny fish bowl as decoration and also placed scented candles there to calm the mind. The king was pleased and gave him a priceless necklace as a reward. Lucius ran to his home, where he found that his wife was having an affair with his friend. Meanwhile, in the 21st century, Mamie started studying the history of Rome. She wanted to know if Lucius really came from the past. She saw that the coin Lucius had given her was 2,000 years old. Meanwhile, in Rome, Lucius was wandering around in despair because his wife had run away with his friend. One day he had a vision of the palace. The king's son had died a few months earlier, and now he believed his son had been reborn as a crocodile. He wanted Lucius to design a place where a crocodile could be raised without any problems. This time, Lucius was in a big trouble because if the crocodile died, the king would not spare him either. He was taken to the 21st century. When he emerged, he was caged with a crocodile. He had ended up in a zoo. Wherever Lucius Paya goes, Mamie Didi goes. She was there on a date with a boy she didn't like at all. As soon as she saw Lucius, she ran to him and got him out of the cage. She showed Lucius the entire zoo. Lucius gathered complete information about the care of crocodiles and their environment. Mamie even had him shoot arrows to see if he was really from Rome. He easily hit all the targets. A few minutes later, he was sitting in a hot water pond when, with a gusto, he returned to Rome. Within a few months, he had prepared a place to keep the king's crocodile son. The king now considered Lucius a part of his family. Everything was going well in the city, but one day, news came that some people were going to rebel and attack the army. They were not happy with the king and were trying to kill someone. They wanted to remove him from the throne at any cost. A year-long battle raged between the king's army and the rebels. By now, the king had grown old, and he decided to hand over his throne to his nephew, Chionius. After becoming king, Chionius wanted to win over the people by building a grand bathhouse. The king commissioned Lucius to work for Chionius, but Lucius did not particularly like him. He was arrogant and a predator of the poor. Lucius knew that the Roman Empire would be doomed if he became king. Ultimately, he flatly refused to work for Chionius. Chionius threatened him with death, but Lucius remained undeterred. Lucius took his work to another architect, but his fame had stalled everyone else's work, leading to a scuffle between them. The man pushed Lucius into a well. When he opened his eyes, he was back among the giants. He was injured, and they were all trying to heal him. They brought him to a hot water pond where he would recover quickly. Then he came to know that wounds heal faster by staying in a hot water pond. To reduce the pain, they also gave him Desi-3 to drink. After some time, Mammy came there. For the past some time, she was learning Lucius's language. But before she could say anything, Lucius fell on her in a drunken state. They both drowned in the pond. When they opened their eyes, both were in Rome, not in the room. In Rome, Mammy was shocked to see all this. She came to know that Lucius was going to be hanged for not following the king's order. Mammy tried a lot to convince Lucius, but he did not listen and packed his things and left from there. Meanwhile, in the 21st century, some old men reached a pond while searching for Mammy and fell into it. Like Lucius, they too got lost in a storm and reached Rome. While walking, Lucius found a pond of hot water near a mountain. He remembered how those tattered men had cured him, and that with hot water he could heal the wounds of the king's soldiers. He consulted Mammy and went to tell the king his idea. Lucius said that this idea was given to him by Antonius. Antonius was also a donkey owner and was also more capable than Chionius. Therefore, Lucius wanted to rise above Chionius in the eyes of the king. With the king's approval, Lucius and Mammy came from the 21st century. He set to work with the old men. Within a few hours, they built the first hut. Gradually, many houses sprang up around the pond, where wounded soldiers would come to relieve themselves. The old men would quickly heal the wounded soldiers with modern 21st century medicine. A few months later, the king's soldiers won the battle against the rebels. There was singing and dancing everywhere. Lucius and Mamie were having romantic conversations. After so much time together, they had grown to love each other even more. Lucius's happiness knew no bounds. He had never felt so good in his life. But then suddenly, all the old men began to disappear. Mamie was also slowly disappearing, but before she left, Lucius said that they would definitely meet again. After this, the king gave Antonius a donkey snake and honored Lucius for his bravery. Without him, they would never have won the battle. Meanwhile, in the 21st century, Mamie's new life had begun. One day, as she was walking down the street, she saw Lucius emerge from the pond. They both reunited. Lucius fulfilled his promise to meet Mamie again. If you had the chance to travel in time, would you rather go to the past or the future? Let us know in the comments. Aye.